Okay, I have no idea what happened there, but my internet is acting completely crazy. And then it didn't even like give me like a warning. It just shut me down. It just shut me down. Maybe it didn't like what I was saying. I have no idea, but it just completely shut me down. So I hope you guys all follow me back here. I'm gonna still keep talking as maybe I didn't lose you. I don't know. I just went off, like blank space. It was done. So hopefully you guys will catch me back here. I'm still in the middle of this conversation and I was answering somebody's question and it just went, you're done. There you are. Okay. All right. Everybody's coming back now. Hi. Sorry. I don't know what happened. It's it's my internet. This crazy internet. You know, it's so funny. We forget, like, we're all sitting here on this technology and then we're at the mercy of it. You know, I'm talking, forget about all of it. And then I'm talking to a blank screen. And then all of a sudden I'm like, where did everybody go? I'm gone. Okay. There you go. Everybody's coming back. Hi. If I lose you, I don't know. Maybe the storm is passing through. It does look like it's starting to get stormy. You want to see what it looks kind of cloudy outside. I'll show you my view from my desk here real quick. Here you go. Here, you can see what it looks like. There's my desk. So it's a little bit cloudy today. Sun keeps coming in and out. So we'll see. Better, good, better. Okay. What was the myth? Let me see, Kaylin was saying. The myth that was the biggest shock to me was that breastfed babies typically don't eat more than 4.5 ounces. I hope that's the correct amount at a time. It's an estimate, yes. And so that's a really good one. That's one of the best ones, right, Kaylin? I mean, it's one of the best ones. And it has to do, I mean, 4 to 5 ounces. What it normally is somewhere between 3 to 5 ounces, okay, is a typical feeding for a baby that's over a few months old, and it doesn't grow any more than that. That's what she's referring to. And when I say 3 to 5, it's because maybe first thing in the morning, the baby's eating 5 ounces. Maybe in the evening, like we were talking about earlier, they're only drinking 3 ounces. But remember that 3 ounces that they're drinking later on in the evening may have more fat in it. So it's very not specific like that. And those smaller feedings are important because if you think about a time before we had breast pumps, a time before we had bottles or formula where we just fed the baby at the breast, you would never know how much the baby's eating. So you wouldn't be comparing it to like one of these, 8-ounce, 9-ounce bottles. You look at these big bottles, you walk through a store, you see them on sale, you see these 8 ounces and you think, am I supposed to fill that thing? And the answer is no. That's not what a breastfed baby would eat. So yeah, it's one of the best myths. I think it's one of the most shocking for some people, but it's also one of the most critical to be aware of, because especially if somebody else is feeding your baby and they're overfeeding them or they're using all of your milk for the whole day at one sitting, yeah, you're going to feel like you're not making enough, right? You're going to feel like I can't pump enough to keep up with this baby. The problem is the baby's eating more than what you're supposed to be making. So yeah, that's a really great myth. What are some of your other favorite myths that I've gone over? I want to hear from you guys. What are some of your other favorite ones? So that's one of my favorite is seeing how much a baby eats throughout the year and that it doesn't grow from there. Let's see. One of my favorite ones is also talking about, talking about the fact that feeding more is what increases your supply, or not feeding frequently enough, like allowing the breast to fill up is what decreases your supply. So that's what we're talking about today. And that's one of my favorites. Another one would be the idea that the baby's not supposed to lose weight, or that they shouldn't be losing much in those first few days, that, weight loss is a problem in the first few days. That's a really good myth too. We just went over that one not too long ago. I did a little post about that one. Yeah, it is, Julie, it is one of the biggest reasons why people quit. They think they don't have enough. And again, perception I always talk about milk supply. If you actually think about it, I may not be talking about a lot of like products that increase your supply, although sometimes I'll, recommend like the Milkmaid tea, or if you do have, like low points where the baby may be going through a growth spurt and you're feeding frequently, but you need that little bit of a boost, or maybe you got your period back again, and during your period or right before, you may see a little bit of a decrease in your milk supply, where those enhancements like some fenugreek or More Milk Plus, those work. They do work and they help, but nothing is going to take the place of frequent feeding. And so that's why you always hear me talking about milk supply really being a function of good latch, right? So that you make sure that your baby is latched well, and then also frequent emptying of the breast. You don't hear me talking about like drink more water, make sure you're eating a ton of oatmeal, make sure that you're, taking your supplements. Those are not the things that are most important. Okay? You're asking me about the cookies. Yeah, I think that, for a lot of people, they'll say, yes, this really worked for me, or that really worked for me. And so all these things have components in it that will help to increase supply. But again, it always comes back down to feeding frequently and stimulation of the breast. Okay, stimulation of the breast, that's the thing that's going to increase your supply. Yeah. Let's see, what else you guys saying here? Your doctor, Tabitha, your doctor told you that you would never make enough for twins. That's probably one of the worst myths. Okay, so the idea that you can't breastfeed because you're having twins, or that you would never make enough, think about that. How would he know, or she, I shouldn't be, sexist about it, could be a woman who's telling you this, that you would never make enough for twins. Your body can feed more than one baby. And actually, that's why you have two breasts, okay? Because why would you need two breasts if you only have one kid? You have two so that if you do have two babies or multiple children or two children of different ages that need to feed at the same time, you can feed them both, okay? And so by feeding from both of your breasts, you're gonna make more. So this idea that you can't make enough because you're feeding twins, you gotta understand, most pediatricians and doctors, physicians, but most pediatricians don't get very much education on breastfeeding. I have to tell you that. That's just honest, straight out. They don't get much education on breastfeeding. It's very rare to find a pediatrician who has expertise in the area of breastfeeding. That's not to say that they don't think that they're experts at breastfeeding. They all think they are. But if you were to really find out how much education they have, it's quite not much. It's really not much. They get like, a couple hours of education in all of medical school. I could tell you that most nurses that you talk to, and I was a nurse before I was a midwife, I got almost no education on breastfeeding. And then I was working in labor and delivery, just learning from the other nurses. This is why you really can't take the advice, and why it's important that if you are struggling with breastfeeding, and even if you're not, that you take a really good class, like with a lactation consultant. That's who your specialist needs to be when it comes to breastfeeding, is a lactation consultant, because those are the people, like myself, who are experts in this field, as specialists. So if you had an issue with anything else, you'd go see a specialist. You want to do the same thing. Tabitha, it's completely wrong. I have worked with dozens and dozens of multiple moms, twin moms, even triplets, who have exclusively breastfed their babies. You could definitely make enough. And so it's just really bad information. Again, feeding from both breasts at the same time, this is how brilliant the body works too. Stimulating both sides at the same time overall is going to have your body make more milk. That actually works like that. So why does that happen? Because your body's thinking, you're nursing two at the same time, I need more milk overall, okay? So if you were someone who was trying to, say, increase your supply with pumping or increase your supply at all, one way to do that would be to pump both sides at the same time, not one at a time, okay? So both breasts are getting stimulation at the same time, or feed your baby on one side, this is what I used to do, feed your baby on one side, and while you're feeding, that's when you pump the other side. That's going to stimulate both your breasts at the same time. It's telling your body or your brain that you have twins or you're tandem nursing, and that's going to overall have a higher yield of milk. Let's see. What? Oh, she did? Okay. Oh, wait, I'm hitting the wrong button. I didn't see it. I'm scrolling back. She didn't even let me latch them when she first delivered. That's horrible. Okay, so you didn't get to it's telling me, all right, I can't really open these because I'm going to delete people if I do that. What?
She didn't even let me let them latch.
Joe's reading them to me from the other room. He's so good. He's listening to me.
She didn't even let me let them latch when I first delivered them.
Oh.
Gave them straight formula.
She didn't let you latch. It's so awful. This is why I'm doing this with you. This is why I do this with you. This is why I do what I do. This is why I write what I write. I film what I film. I take the time to go live with you guys to answer your questions, because this is the information that I think is so critical to know before you have your baby, before you have your next baby, to be able to tell your friends or your sisters, or for yourself, even for your next visit to the doctor or for your next feeding, so you know how much you actually need to be feeding or what the normal is. Normal is my whole thing, okay? Talking about normal. What are the normal things? Because we could talk about all the complications, but the truth is that most people don't even know normal enough to know that they are normal. And it kills me when I hear about any of you getting such terrible advice. Thanks for the heart. To see the heart. It kills me to hear about all of you having such terrible advice where someone is forcing something on you. And that's, when I talk about breastfeeding, I'm talking to the moms who want to breastfeed. If somebody doesn't want to breastfeed, or somebody chooses not to, or chooses to feed formula, that's fine. Everybody has a right to choose what they want. And so does a breastfeeding mom. So it's the same thing. If a mom's choosing to breastfeed, then us as practitioners, I feel like we need to do everything we can to facilitate that and make it easier and help you to be successful with it. It's not enough to just say breast is best. It's not enough to just tell you, yeah, this is a good thing for your baby, but then not really support you in your attempt to do it. So I'm really sorry that happened. The greatest thing is that we have each other now here online, that there's so much more support. I think about, like I was talking about earlier, my oldest started high school today. So she's 14 and a half. So 14 and a half years ago when I had Jade, there was no internet. Can you believe it? There was no internet. I mean, it was just starting. It was like, there was a few websites. Of course, there was no social media at all. There was no one to talk to. I mean, you had people like in your town. You talked to your next door neighbor. You talked to your friends. You got on your phone and you called somebody. There wasn't what we're doing right now. And it was just so difficult to get this kind of information. And what I love is that over the last 10 years, to watch the evolvement of like being able to come on here, and women just really are a lot more knowledgeable because you have each other and you have me and you have other experts who are discussing this, and you're so much more open to other stuff that's out there than just what your doctor might be telling you. So I think it's just amazing to see it from firsthand, like as a mom, to see myself where I was 14 years ago with all of this, and now to watch what I'm able to do for you that was not available. I think it's amazing, just totally amazing. It's what makes me log on here. Let's see. You helped me tons when my doctor said I couldn't breastfeed my 1-year-old son after I got pregnant. That's from Sarah. Awesome, Sarah. Awesome, Sarah. Yeah, tandem nursing. I mean, that's another thing, is that you'll have, you can have a little bit of a decrease. We were talking about, that's what the topic was that we were talking about, was a decrease in supply. Sometimes you'll see a little bit of a decrease during pregnancy. So if you're nursing and you're pregnant, you might see a little bit of a decrease, but being able to offer the breast frequently and also solid foods, if your baby's at the, hopefully the baby's old enough at that point to be eating some solid foods too. that's going to keep increasing it. You will start to see that starting to increase towards the end of pregnancy too. It's not the whole time. Typically, like in the beginning or the second trimester, you'll start to see a little bit of a decrease. Some people don't. Some people don't. So everybody's different. Jennifer says, we're about to welcome our 5th child at breast. That's awesome. Congratulations, Jennifer. You breastfed them all, but never tandem. Still nursing your 4-year-old and excited to, yay. Yeah. So this will be a first for you. You didn't think that you'd have a first with 5, right? This is your first time tandem nursing. That's something that, I didn't do. And looking back, we always look back and go, I would have done this or I would have done that. And I think I would have breastfed longer. That's the one thing. I mean, I feel really good about doing the 13, I nursed for 13 months with both the girls and I exclusively breastfed them and I was working full time, so I feel really, really good about that every single day. And I just heard the door open. So I think my daughter just came home from high school, from her first day of high school, and I cannot wait to hear about it. But when I look back, I feel really accomplished. And then of course, all the other thoughts come in of like, what could I have done that was more, I feel like I need to go because can you see how excited I just got ready to jump out of my seat? I want to go ask my daughter how she did today. Today was her first day of high school. While you guys are all home breastfeeding your babies, my baby was off going to high school and I can't even believe it. This is how fast it goes. Totally enjoy it because it's like a blink of an eye and then it's over. And I would love to experience it one more time, but I won't. That's it. I'm done. I will experience it just through you guys and I'll experience it here online talking to you because I am complete with that. So yeah, I hope she had an awesome day too. I can't wait to hear. Okay. I'll come back. We will talk some more and I'll keep posting about the myths. You keep posting your questions because it inspires me. Oh, there she is. You want to say hi, Jade? No. Oh, she doesn't want to say hi. Okay. She's probably mad I just did that. Yes, I do live vicariously through all of you with your babies. But I want you to keep posting your questions because it inspires me. It makes me think of the things that you might not know. It inspires me to think of the myths that I can keep on creating for you and the topics that we can talk about. So I'm going to go now and we'll be back again. Okay. Everybody's saying hi to you, Jade. I'm telling her that you said hi. Cindy just said hi to you.
She said hi back.
She said hi. She waved. Okay. So have a good night, a good rest of your afternoon, everybody, and a good evening. And I will be back later on this week. Okay. We'll talk some more. Definitely. Okay. Love you guys. Bye. Mwah.